I've never read 50 Shades of Grey, not even the back summing up part, but I do have the font of all knowledge, so I think I'm qualified to talk about this. The first thing I learned about 50 Shades of Grey was that it was the best thing ever created by man. Also, it's the worst piece of trash in existence, and anyone who likes it is a big doo-doo head. I knew there was more to the story, however, so I dug deeper. After some intensive research on the web, I was able to find out that 50 Shades of Grey was a book. Also, it's been adapted into a series of pictures shown in quick succession called a flip book. Enough talk about strange alien technologies. I wanted to know what actually happened. 50 Shades of Grey is a story about a girl, specifically a main girl, and also a main guy and some other faceless people. Miss Main Girl has a friend named Friend 1. Now, Main Girl has to fill in for Friend 1 because Friend 1 is sick. No, sick. Anyway, because of this, Main Girl has to go interview Main Guy. I think his name was Christian White. So Main Girl interviews Main Guy, who's rich, by the way. As far as I can tell, that and a proclivity towards sexual deviancy is the sum total of his character, so it's important to mention. During the interview, there's sexual tension or something. The article wasn't clear on that. Then, after the interview, Main Girl goes to a hardware store for some reason and meets Main Guy there, buying rape and torture supplies. I mean, that's the only thing that comes to mind when you see a guy with tape, rope, and garbage ties. He might as well have written, "Hi, my name is the Hilltop Strangler" on his shirt. During this meeting, he gives this girl, who by all accounts is completely average, his phone number for absolutely no reason. When her friends hear this, they urge her to call him, rather than the police, which would have been my suggestion. If this was real life, the next time she'd be seen would be under a bridge. No, a worse one. About right. But I digress. The story picks up at a photo shoot with some more tension and a dash of creepy murder suspense. The next day, Main Girl wakes up to find a bunch of old books at her doorstep, which I again would have found creepy since there was no mention of her giving the main guy her address. I assume that means she didn't, because this plot summary is the most detailed thing I've ever read in my life. I mean, look at it. There's like 5 paragraphs here. Anyway, Main Girl just found the gesture charming. Must be something about his hair. Next, Main Girl is in a bar and drunk. She calls the richest man she knows, as you must do in such situations, and he offers to be her designated driver. I swear, the most romantic thing that happened in this entire plot summary is him acting as her dorm mother. When Main Guy arrives, Main Girl is in the midst of being sexually assaulted. Either that or she's just about to kiss some guy she wants to kiss. I can't tell which, it's not clear. Either way, Main Guy puts a stop to that nonsense and gallantly takes her to a hotel room. Is that what people mean when they ask to be driven home? I've been doing it wrong. I just dropped them off in front of the first hotel I see. When Main Girl wakes up afraid in a strange environment, Main Guy immediately declares that he will deign to sex her. But she must sign a special sex contract first. Then she kisses him and he goes back on that. Then later they go in a helicopter which is named Charlie Tango. I only include it because my best friend made a point of mentioning it. Also, I think it's a reference to Main Guy's first name, but I'm too lazy to look further into that question. On the magic carpet ride, Main Guy goes back on going back on the contract thing, then she pinky swears not to tell anyone and he shows her his torture done closet. Then he finds out that she's a virgin and goes back on going back on going back on the whole contract thing, which isn't confusing at all. Finally, he allows her to have him take her virginity. That is totally the way my sources present it. The next morning, his mom barges into his apartment. You know how you act with your fully adult running a company son, and sees Main Guy and Main Girl together. She sticks around just long enough to explain that she thought he was gay, as you do with all of your son's one-night stands. Then she leaves, or the scene transitions, or something. Main Guy and Main Girl go out to lunch, and he reveals that he was molested by his mom's friend at the age of 15. Which is a bit of a heavy topic for lunch with a woman with whom you're dedicated and not sharing any emotional attachment. Then again, I guess he just doesn't know how talking works. Honestly, this all makes more sense if you think of Main Guy as mildly autistic. And also a murderer. Have I mentioned that? Well, as things progress, Main Girl is sent a laptop and gets onto the internet for the first time in her life. After looking up what exactly BDSM means, she's uncomfortable with signing the sex contract and runs away. The next time she sees Main Guy, he's the speaker at her graduation. Now I'll quote, "During this time, Anna agrees to sign the dominant submissive contract, which I choose to interpret as Main Guy stopping in the middle of his speech to ask her if it's okay for him to tie her down and do butt stuff. Their relationship progresses and, for reasons that go unexplained, she still hasn't signed this contract despite agreeing to it. Then, out of nowhere, she asks Main Guy to punish her hard and he beats her with a belt. At that point, she learns that sex isn't like ice cream, where people can be perfectly fine starting out with butter pecan. Even I don't know what that sentence means. Anyway, distraught by the fact that she isn't a hard M, Main Girl flees back to her apartment and the story just sort of ends. So in the end, what did this sterling piece of art teach us about the world and humans and whatnot? Well, I guess that girls like to be spanked, but not too hard. Also, if you meet a rich guy, you should totally give up everything for him on the off chance that he might throw some scraps your way. I mean, she gave up the right to eat food, and all she got out of it was a laptop. I can eat whatever I want and have a laptop. Actually, I have 2 laptops. Anyone want to sign this contract?